And I'll call Deputy John Lyons.
Thank you, Lascian Corla. I suppose just after listening to the debate for a little while, I was just thinking, before I came in here 2 years ago, there was a certain level of naivety in me, which was that I genuinely thought that most people in this house, no matter what side of the house you sat on, was here for the better good. And the last few weeks in particular, last week in particular, was a bit of a penny-dropping exercise. And I can firmly say that I genuinely believe at this stage that there are some people in this House who do not want to see Ireland progress and the people of Ireland have a better quality of life and better standards of living. And it's appalling to think that we have public representatives who have been represented, who are representing public people here, the citizens of Ireland, and are telling people that this isn't a good deal. That, I think it's political opportunism. And I have to say it, credit should be given where credit is due. And this isn't about ourselves lambasting ourselves in, aren't we great, aren't we fantastic? The reality is, the news that was delivered last week is pretty good. It's exceptionally good. And it's appalling, and it's galling, and it's disappointing, and every other adjective to describe how disgraceful the behaviour of the majority of people, not all now might I say, but the majority of people in opposition has been around this deal is very, very disappointing. Last Thursday was a very important day for Ireland in our mission to recover from our crisis. We did say goodbye to the Anglo-Irish Bank, the bank that brought our nation on its knees. And we also said goodbye to the promissory notes, a burden that would have made the next 10 years nearly impossible to face without massive social and economic consequences. Anglo-Irish Bank is no more, and the promissory note is no more, and will not be paid this March or any other March indeed. The benefit of this deal is huge as we build the way out of our crisis towards recovery. We will not be paying 3.1 billion payments for the next 10 years, and we will not have to borrow 20 billion, or we'll have to borrow 20 billion less for that same period. This deal will reduce the gap, our revenue and our expenditure by 1 billion every year. And according to Standard & Poor's, this deal reduced our deficit by 0.6% overnight. The repayment of the debt, with an average bond maturity of 34 years, gives us room to breathe. With this weight lifted, we will have a greater opportunity to focus on the future by growing our economy and creating jobs. A couple of words from 3 different international papers. The New York Times, this is what they said about the deal last week. Another important milestone in Ireland's slow emergence from a banking and real estate crisis. A German paper, Frankfurter Allgemeine, said, Ireland has won the argument over the massive cost of its bank rescue. And the Financial Times says, Ireland has reaped a diplomatic victory that will bear immediate economic fruit. The value of the deal in making our debt sustainable has become immediately apparent on the international bond markets. Standard & Poor's has upgraded Ireland's credit outlook to stable. Fitch has described the deal as credit positive. But the yield on Irish bonds has fallen to its lowest rate since before the crisis hit in 2007. Our 2020 bond is now trading at a yield of less than 4%, which means that the NTMA, which has already successfully dipped into the international monetary markets in recent months, will be in a much better position to source the funding that we need to ensure that we can fully leave our bailout programme in the next year and wave goodbye to the Troika. This deal did not come overnight, despite what some people seem to think. It was the outcome of months and months of extensive negotiation. The negotiation took place on both a political and a central bank level.
1 minute,
I'd like to commend the Governor of the Central Bank, Patrick Honohan, and the excellent work he has done on behalf of the State and the officials in the Central Bank and the Department of Finance. I'd also like to commend Minister Howlin, Minister Noonan, the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach Eamon Gilmore for getting us this deal. This work is ongoing, and I understand negotiations are now getting underway on the remainder of our legacy bank debt used to recapitalise our banks. I will, in conclusion, say that the people will want to and need to know that this deal will have a direct impact on them. The people of Ireland have borne a very hard burden for the crisis, more than they morally should, and in some cases, more than they actually can. This deal needs to manifest itself in the next 2 budgets. I would urge the Minister to make it clear that this will be the case, and to point to areas where this additional funding can be allocated so that the people of Ireland will see dividends of this deal in their pockets. Thank you, Lascian.
And I'll call Deputy